Welcome back. We're here at the start line for the women's senior lightweight 8. We just finished the men's senior lightweight 8 that was won by the University of Victoria. Here we've got just a 2-boat straight final, so that was a 4-boat straight final, all Canadians. We've got all Canadians again here for the women's version. It is the Ottawa Rowing Club out of lane 4 and the Argonaut Rowing Club out of lane 5. That's basically the nation's capital and the provincial capital here in Ontario, Canada. My name is Brent Duncan. I'm no longer joined by Ali Zimmerman. She just left to go get ready for the Championship 8 that she's racing. Welcome, Katie.
Hey, Brent. All right, so boats are getting lined up. They're getting the bows even, so that'll require someone to pull in and pull out, the boat holders to pull in and pull out to get the bows dead even for the start line.
So this is, again, just a 2-boat straight final. No heats. There would have been only the 2 entries. And again, this is a lightweight event. So these ladies will have had to weigh in this morning. Weigh-ins opened at 9 a.m. I believe they closed at 11. So they will have wanted to get in here as quick as they can so they can kind of refuel, rehydrate, whatever they need to do. No heats in this race. I have no doubt that these athletes raced other events over the course of the week. Certainly Ottawa. Always in a number of events. Argonauts, I believe, raced the Dash and a couple other races earlier this week to some significant success. And here we've got the women's senior lightweight 8 off to a good start.
Yes, both crews starting off quick. They'll do some partial strokes and then they'll wind up the rate. Right now, Ottawa is at a 41, so very high off the start. And the Argonaut boat, 37 off the start. And soon they'll be shifting down to their base pace, getting long and strong and into their rhythm.
Yeah, so this is really a difficult situation, I think. Not only a straight final where maybe you haven't raced the crew that's lined up next to you before, but it's a 2-boat final. It's something you don't necessarily see a lot here at Canadian Henley. At, of course, English Henley, that's all you get. 2-boat racing, gladiatorial style, boat race, dual racing, the whole way down. Not too often you see it here at Canadian Henley. Typically you will get mostly a full course load, mostly 6-7 boats across. So this is really gladiatorial racing. That's how they always call it for the Henley Royal Regatta. Here at Canadian Henley, we have it just for the women's senior lightweight 8 with these 2 Ottawa and Argonaut clubs battling it out as they approach the 500-meter mark.
All right, approaching the 500, it looks like Argonaut has a lead on Ottawa. It looks like about half a length right now. Argonauts over Ottawa. Yep. Ottawa's bow ball is on Argonaut's 3 seat, so a little less than half a length. Still a very tight race.
Yeah, anything can happen. Certainly not a lot of space to give with the boats still being in contact. Anything can really change. You don't typically see big changes in momentum in the bigger boats, the bigger races. 8s, it just takes that much more energy to kind of bring yourself up to speed. That's, if you get down, it can really become a hole that you dig yourself. So it's good that these Ottawa athletes are staying in contact with the Argonaut Rowing Club, and I'm sure their coxswain is just urging them on, saying we're still in this. We've got them. We have to move up. We cannot, lose a seat. We have to move back into them, get me back onto their coxswain.
Yes, definitely. Definitely looking over this dual racing. It can be hard because sometimes you can focus too much on the other boat. It's a challenge because it's just you and them. And you have to stay internal and focus on maximizing your boat speed while still making note of where they are and building off the other crew.
By my eye, it might be Ottawa actually up ahead. Of course, angles can be deceiving sometimes in this sport as they approach perhaps the 1,000-meter mark and a couple more 100 meters. It'll be interesting to see how much this race has changed over the second 500-meter portion. In the senior women's lightweight 8, the 2 coxies maybe about even, perhaps Ottawa even up a bit now. So those athletes all doing a really good job. This is an exciting race for just a 2-boat straight final. this is what you want to see.
Yes, definitely. And it is Ottawa up by about
Maybe
three
three seats.
seats.
So
Yeah.
just a complete 180 over the first 500-meter mark. So that's an exciting race. Maybe up to 5 seats there. But I'm sure the Coxie now from Argonaut, that is Katie DeClerc, is going to be urging her athletes on. That is a crew full of athletes. Those names are not going to be a surprise. Anyone that's followed, Canadian racing over the last few years, certainly 5 seats. Alex Mikkeljohn, she's a long-time athlete here at,
Everywhere.
everywhere, yeah. I believe originally from St. Catharines area. So she's sitting in the power seat here in the 5 seat of the Argonaut Rowing Club. Of course, Rachel Dick, the stroke seat, I believe she is a University of Toronto athlete, although I could be wrong. And those athletes really now going to try and climb back into this race, not letting Ottawa, who was down after the first 500-meter mark, the Argonaut Rowing Club in lane 5 out of the west end of Toronto, they're going to try and climb back into Ottawa's water and try and get their bow ball back ahead. And we'll see now what they can do in the third 500.
Yeah, looks like Ottawa is having a good third 500. It's interesting to note that the Argonaut Rowing Club did win this last year, so they're looking to defend their trophy and their title, where Ottawa definitely has a great rhythm right now, and they're really sending it through the third 500 to take it away.
Yeah, it does look like Ottawa now. Maybe even some open water, certainly bow to stern, I think, for those athletes. Of course, that's Serena from bow, Emma, Sarah, Sabrina, Melissa, Sophie, Alyssa, Sierra, and
Genevieve.
I was going to say her name's cut off a little bit on my sheet, so I can't quite get the rest of her name. So far, well done to those athletes. They are now leading. They've led basically the middle 1,000 of this race, coming into the bottom 500 of the women's lightweight 8. And wow, that is a pretty good margin right now.
Yeah, they really own the third 500. That is about 3/4 of a length of open between them and the Argonaut bow ball. So coming into this final stretch, for Argonauts, it's going to be, can we go a little early and see if we can make up any of this? And for Ottawa, it's going to be stick to our plan, stick to our rhythm. We're just dominating, and we need to keep pushing them away with every single stroke.
I do have to wonder how many times these athletes have been in this situation where there's only the one other crew to work off of. At least typically in some 6-lane racing, you'll have, maybe if you get dropped by one crew, you've got another crew next to you, maybe a lane or two over, that's more close to your speed. You can work off of them. You can try and work through them to kind of generate some momentum psychologically to get you back onto the leader. This race, however, only 2 crews, no one else to work off of. The Argonaut Rowing Club trying to climb back into Ottawa. I'm sure Coxie urging them on. You can just see her head bobbing up and down, trying to get those ladies to get the rate up, trying to get the effort in. I'm sure they're trying to throw everything they've got at the Ottawa Rowing Club, who's rowing very cleanly into the red buoys as they approach the finish line.
Yeah, the Argonaut Rowing Club has started to bring the rate up. They're at about a 35, 36 right now. Ottawa is at a 34. So we'll see Ottawa probably build up a little bit here. But again, they're focusing on building boat speed, not so much building rate. So they're working on accelerating harder and just bringing home that Henley Gold.
That's an important distinction, I think, to make there, Katie. The difference between stroke rate and speed, not a one-to-one correlation. This, of course, though, a senior event. Most of these athletes, I'm sure, have, it's not their first Henley. Most of them will be familiar with that concept, and Ottawa doing an excellent job. I would say maybe a boat and a half to 2 boats of open water as they cross the finish line in the women's senior lightweight 8 over the Argonaut Rowing Club.
Yes, awesome. So congratulations to Ottawa, unofficially winning the senior women's lightweight 8 and the People of Port Dalhousie trophy. So that is, again, it is Serena Weaver in bow seat, Emma Dressler, Sarah DeMarnis, Sabrina Morris, Melissa Paradis, Sophie Arca, and it's cut off, Alyssa Patrick, Sierra Stevenson, and Genevieve Demonmes, and their coach, Jamie Bell. Congratulations.